Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about journaling, normal disclosure. All of this is meant for educational and enjoyment purposes. It is not meant to replace your therapist. Okay, that's said and done. So, notoriously, when you are in therapy, your therapist is going to want you to journal. And I think that it turns a lot of people off because they don't understand, they think it's like a dear diary. That's not really what we mean by journaling at all. And so, well, I mean, it could be, but the reason that in clinical therapy we ask you to journal is because your brain has the story. Your body has the story. It's stuck inside your body, and your brain knows the map. Your brain knows what happened to you from 0 to now, years old. And so when you're sitting in solitude in the quiet, maybe there's soft music, maybe you have a candle, maybe you're doing it in meditation, maybe sound bowls, binaural beats, whatever you're doing when you're journaling, maybe your cat's curled up next to you, you are operating at a subconscious level. So here's your operating memory. Maybe that's too small. Your operating memory is your everyday, I'm making decisions. But when you're journaling, we want to get down here to the subconscious memories, like the stuff that is stored in the brain files, the stuff you don't think about every day. And here's a for instance, when I'm explaining journaling to my folks, you don't remember what it was like to learn how to walk, to learn how to run. Let's stick with walking. Walking was a process. First, you had to scoot yourself across the floor. Then you had to watch other people walk and decide, okay, I want to do that too. Then you started, weeble wobbling back and forth on your knees. You figured out how to get up on your knees. Didn't mean you were mobile until you eventually started pulling yourself up and walking using tables and chairs. You got a lot of bumps and bruises and scrapes. Keep that in mind. I remember when I used to own a daycare and a lot of our kids walking. My gosh, you would have thought I was abusing them, all the bumps and bruises and scrapes, because they needed to learn. All babies need to learn to walk. And so, yes, they're going to fall a lot. They're going to bang their head. They're going to, anyway, I digress. So you're learning to walk, and now you're using tables. And eventually your brain, your mind said, okay, be brave enough to try this on your own. And with your parents or your caregiver support, you were like, come on, baby, walk to me. You can do it. You can do it. And then you took a step. And you were elated that you were able to do this thing. And then you take another step, and then you fall. But you try and try and try again until you were successfully walking. My point of explaining that to you is you don't remember that, but it is stuck in your brain somewhere. Your brain, your body keeps the score. It remembers you learning how to walk. So when I'm walking through life timelines with people, I'm explaining to them, like, in a timeline, there are points in your life that you have created what we call a psychological imprint. This is a story about these life events. True, not true, it doesn't matter at this stage. What we gotta do is get to these stories that are stuck in your subconscious. And the way to do that is in the quiet. I call these edges. The way to meet your edges, thank you, Crystal, my awesome shaman. The way to meet your edges is to get quiet. Sit in solitude. Music. Maybe light a candle. Me, I'm a fan of sage and Palo Santo sticks for meditation. I especially love Palo Santo or sage sticks. You can buy those on at your local witchy store, or you can get them by the case on Amazon. For me, if I were you, I'd buy them by the case, because you're going to be doing this thing for the rest of your life. Anyway, so this is basically how journaling, the reason that we are asking you to journal is because we got to find these things right here. These things right here. And in order for you to heal, we need to come to these things, and we need to first figure it out in your timeline and through your journaling. But then also, the only way, the initial imprint was not, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. The initial imprint when this thing happened to you is not necessarily a true story. For instance, I got hit by a red car. All red cars are dangerous. That's not true. So once I find this, then I'm able to reframe the memory or reword the memory so that I can tuck it back into my brain files, and now it's safe. I need these memories to be, you need these memories to be safe, because now we no longer have anxiety or depression. We're not triggered. Like, all these things disappear if you're journaling correctly. That is why you journal. That is, now I'm going to tell you about how to journal. But I wanted to first explain to you why journaling, why it's important. If you have any questions, I'm going to stop this one right here. I want to make this short and sweet, just understanding why people journal. If you have any questions about this, by all means, give me a shout or send me an email. But I think this is pretty self-explanatory, and I'm going to do multiple other, well, now I'm going to tell you all these ways that you can journal and hopefully make this a little bit more clear. Thank you. If you have any questions, like I said, shoot me an email, let me know. But hopefully now you understand like why you should be journaling. Now I'm going to show you how. Thanks.